Okay, now I'd like to talk about another free-form flamenco guitar style called Rondena. This one, just similar to Taranta, the name Rondena might refer to a couple different things depending on what you're talking about. Rondena traditionally is also a cante. However, it's a cante typically played with compás, the compás of verdeales or abandolao, it's also called. And again, is similar to the fandango form. But the Rondena guitar piece that we typically refer to, unlike the Taranta, which does associate the cante and the guitar together, this is a completely separate form and refers specifically to a composition by Ramon Montoya that he recorded in the 1930s, I believe. And what's unique about this form is the tuning of the guitar. He was one of the innovators of flamenco, Ramon Montoya, and this is one of his most important contributions because the key that we play in, coupled with the tuning, has become a very much a favorite form for composition for flamenco players from all of the periods, including the most modern. And it really inspired guitarists to explore other keys and tunings, even though it was done a long time ago. Ramon himself used this key to accompany a Taranta cante on one recording for a female singer. And the reason we believe is because of the unique key that he was able to play in allowed him not to have to use such a high capo position. And he got to use some of his new ideas falsetto-wise, okay? But again, we have a separation of the cante Rondena and the guitar Rondena. It's a different thing. So a lot of times guitar players will use the term Rondena to simply refer to this tuning. So for example, once you have the tuning, separate from the free form composition or improvisation you might want to do with it, you can put this key using different compasses like tangos or bulerias or soleá por bulería. I think at this point almost every type of rhythmic form has been explored using this key of Rondena. So you might refer to it as, let's say you have a bulería rhythm. They might say a Rondena bulería, okay, or a Rondena por bulería, or soleá por bulería in tonos de Rondena. Tonos means the chords or the key of, okay? So let's talk about the tuning first of all. We have the 6th string in D, Re, 5th string in A, La, the 4th string in like normal D. The 3rd string is tuned down a third to F sharp or Fa sostenido, okay? You can match it up, probably safest to match it up with the 4th fret here, because when you tune thirds, sometimes you might want to hear them a little flat, which is going to mess up the rest of the chords. So I typically use either the F sharp here to tune it to, or I might try to do like get a perfect 5th interval to make it more equal tempered, okay? And then the B and E are the same as normal, B and E, okay? So we have this open D kind of sound with these extra notes here, but the key we play in is not D, which makes it really interesting. The key we play in is actually C sharp or C sharp frigid. So we have a couple unique chord voicings, okay? The first one would be the C major, kind of barred at the 2nd fret. You can put the G sharp here at the top. So what I'm doing here is just 4th fret, 3rd fret, barring the 2nd, and then my pinky up on the 4th, okay? At some point in the more modern era, they started using this chord instead as the tonic chord, which is a lot darker and more interesting. So we have what looks like the 3rd fret here, which would be a not an F natural or E sharp. Okay, we have the C sharp root, and then we have the open D, and again we have this bar here. So we can play just up to the 2nd string, or you can fret the G sharp up top and get a full voice chord here. Okay? This shape is very important because we can actually move this around If you move it up 1 fret, we go from C sharp to D, and then we go 2 frets, we have an E7, okay? So just with one shape, we can move a lot of interesting chord sounds, okay? Another voicing that we can do is just a full or an open D. Let's do that first. This will be our secondary chord, D major, and then C sharp. So you might hear these kind of resolutions, or major 7, or a dominant 7, resolving back to the home chord, or this one, whichever chord you like, okay? Now the other voicing based on this D shape is to use the moving bar here. That's basically the same chord, moved up with a bar. So we have an E and a D, which is very nice. Or a 7th, like D7, E7, okay? And then another one that's important is when we play like an A major. This looks like because of the lowered string, we use this shape for a major chord, okay? So A major, but we also can play the A up here. So you can see you have a lot to do with these basic open chords and barred chords to make some interesting sounds. So the characteristic melody that Ramon did on his first recording was this bass line that he does with the thumb. Basically moving up chromatically, or you can do this if you want to keep it in the scale, and moving that up and down on the 4th string. Okay? To keep it in the key, on the D string here, we have to play the G sharp, which is on the 6th fret. We can also do an E chord with a bar. And then a resolution you will hear that is very similar to the taranta is one that we do like this, which is basically borrowed directly from the taranta ligados, but we're in a different key and we're up a set of strings basically. So I'm doing the B sharp or C natural here. You can have the open D string with it and go to C sharp. And we can have a resolving phrase, just like we do with taranta, but again in this key. Okay, again that is the open A, hammer the 2nd fret, open D, hammer the 3rd fret, open D, and then resolve to the 4th. Okay, so that's Ramon Montoya's famous introduction, more or less, using these open strings and some bass line melodies.